As the festivities turned down on a quiet Halloween night in Quebec City, Canada, the unthinkable would happen. A man carrying a 30-inch sword in a full costume would unleash the most horrifying attack the city has ever seen. Welcome back to the Crime House. If you like true crime, chilling stories, dark and creepy content, don't forget to subscribe. Get comfortable because this is gonna be a creepy one. This is the case of the Halloween slasher. Old Quebec City was filled with vibrant autumn colors, eerie Halloween decorations, and a multitude of costumes, children joyfully walking through the streets of the historical district. A typical Halloween, but as the night went on and the children went home is when the adults started to come out for their Halloween festivities. Despite how chilly it gets in Quebec City, everyone was out for the festivities as Halloween this year fell on a Saturday night. The sound of the bars opening and the kids laughing, it was a good ambience all around. Little did they know a horrifying nightmare lurked in the shadow, ready to descend upon them. Around 10:30 p.m., a 24-year-old man ventured through the historic streets of Old Quebec City. He was no ordinary Halloween enthusiast. He was wearing a full attire of a medieval knight, black leather boots on his feet, and a sinister black mask. On the other hand, he carried a costume accessory that wasn't fake, a deadly Japanese-style saber sword known as a katana, with a menacing 30-inch blade. This sword-holding 24-year-old was in fact Carl Girourard. Girourard had driven nearly 3 hours from his home in northern Montreal to reach Quebec City's historical district. He parked his vehicle in front of the famous Chateau Frontenac Hotel, where he would unleash his shocking attack on unsuspected victims. With chilling intent, he prowled the streets, singling out individuals at random and striking them with his deadly sword. His first victim was François de Chusnay, a 56-year-old museum employee who had the misfortune of being ambushed by Girourard. His throat was gruesomely slit. He was snuck up on from behind and died instantly. But the terror didn't end there. Girourard continued his frenzy attack, chasing and stabbing 7 more people.
At 10:30 p.m., where they discovered victims in at least 4 locations in Old Quebec. François Duchesne, 56,
Tragically, he managed to claim one more life, that of 61-year-old Suzanne Clermont, a local hairdresser. The streets were quickly stained with blood as panic and horror swept through the city. Panicked witnesses called the police and they arrived quickly, but not quick enough, surrounding the assailant and ultimately bringing an end to this night of terror. Yet the story took a more sinister twist beyond the initial carnage. Following his capture, Girourard revealed his disturbing plan. He had aimed to inflict even greater pain and destruction, admitting to wanting to kill a lot more people. Inside his car, he had gallons of gasoline, with the intent to set fire and lay waste to the historical district of Quebec City. The legal proceedings that followed were nonetheless chilling. Girourd's trial began and his defense hinged on expert psychiatrists who presented conflicting conclusions about Girourd's criminal responsibility. Throughout his life, Girourard had grappled with mental illness and had even confessed to a therapist 5 years prior about a desire to commit acts similar to the ones on this horrific night. From a young age, he had harbored a fascination with violence, seeking refuge in the world of violent video games. His legal team strived to establish a diagnosis of schizophrenia, asserting that he had been delirious and in a state of psychosis on the night of the attacks, and able to tell the difference from right to wrong. Girourard told the court that by the age of 18, he had conceived a mission that involved wielding a sword to take lives, causing chaos, altering the world, and motivating like-minded individuals, who he referred to as his alter egos, to carry on his mission, even after his demise. He spoke of 2 competing versions of himself, with a bad persona that was mission-oriented, but claimed it ceased to exist after the Halloween attacks. Yet, mental illness doesn't work that way. He continued to tell the court that after arriving in Quebec City from his home in northern Montreal, he was fearful and struggling with continuing his mission, but ultimately Bad Carl took over. The prosecution presented a different narrative, contending that the attacks were premeditated. They pointed to Girourd's history, his obsession with talking about using a sword to harm and attack people, which had been going on since his late teenage years. Expert psychiatrist Dr. Foucher characterized the killer's actions as a pursuit of malicious fantasy, inspired by his imagination and violent video games. Girourd's ultimate goal, Dr. Foucher suggested, was to attain notoriety. He dismissed the likelihood of schizophrenia, citing the absence of symptoms and impossibility that bad Carl had vanished without any form of medication. After 5 days of deliberation, the jury and judge reached a verdict. Carl Girourard was found guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder, resulting in 2 consecutive life sentences in Canada's legal system. This chilling tale of the Halloween slasher serves as a stark reminder of the depths of darkness that can lurk in the human psyche, even amidst the most cheerful of celebrations. It is a night that the city of Quebec will never forget, and one that continues to haunt the minds of those who dare to remember on Halloween. Well, thank you for joining me on this cloudy evening, wherever you are on this big globe. Stay safe out there, and don't forget to subscribe to the Crime House for more late night listens.